Welcome, listeners, to the fourth episode of Credible Perspectives. My name is Branis Mayenga, and I'm really pleased to have you on set again because today our guest is going to be disrupting a lot when it comes to the electric vehicle space. We're going to be talking about the losers and the winners, but not in a way to instill any fear, but just to enlighten you and bring you up to speed on what is happening in the EV sector. So joining me in studio today is a good friend of mine also, and someone that I really admire in terms of how he's able to really break down conversations around EV. And we know very well that for a student to grow in terms of knowledge, they need a teacher. So welcome me in joining Alex Munene, who's the founder of Advanced Mobility. Alex, it's really nice to have you in studio today.
Pleasure to join you as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm really glad because I know your schedules. Anytime I call you, you're either in Tanzania or you're in Ethiopia or you're in Uganda. Yeah. So now that you've made time for me, truly, we're very humbled and we really appreciate that you honored our invite.
Okay.
First, just start by talking to us a little bit about what is electric mobility?
So electric mobility is basically the shift of transport from using fossil fuel-driven vehicles or engine vehicles to electric vehicles.
Okay.
So in a summary, that's it. So we're changing basically our source of energy from oil to electricity. So
okay.
that's basically what we call the electric mobility shift.
All right.
Yeah.
And thanks so much. Like I said, he breaks it down really easy for us to understand because we know our listeners are not just consumers of the vehicles. We also have investors, but we also have people who are really interested in understanding this space. So maybe you can start with a short introduction. Who's Alex Munene?
Okay.
Who are you? Within this space,
Within
not
this
outside
space.
the space. Who
Okay,
are
because
you?
there's many facets or perspectives of Alex.
Yes.
So within the e-mobility space, Alex is the founder of Advanced Mobility and also a fleet mobility expert within that space.
Okay.
So what we do basically is we are a training and consulting firm in the electric mobility space. We provide capacity building and advisory support to fleet operators, to business owners, to vehicle users, motorists on different matters of transport. Our three main areas of focus are fleet management, advanced driving, and now electric mobility itself as a technology.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are basically, we normally like to say we focus on the people pillar of technology or of transport and logistics. Yeah, because there's a lot of hardware and moving parts, but the people part is our specialty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today this topic is going to center around the people economy
Yes.
of Kenya's electric vehicle transition.
Okay.
And I like that we put in people because people play a very big role in this space, not just you as the experts, but also the consumers. So advanced mobility tracks the sector broadly, obviously because you're engaging with people one-on-one, you're getting a lot of feedback that is immediate. So let me just start by asking you, who stands to gain most from Kenya's EV transition? Is it manufacturers, fleet operators, delivery companies, or power utilities? Or do they all stand to gain? Is there someone maybe who looks like they can gain more from this, or is it just a balanced, it's balanced out within these different players?
Interesting question. I think there's many people who stand to gain. There's a few who, of course, stand to lose. But let's start with the gainers. I think generally as an economy, everyone will feel the benefit of electric mobility, whether you use it or not directly. Let me just give a simple example. We normally tie the cost of living to the price of fuel.
Yes.
And anytime there's an increase in the price of fuel, everything else starts going up.
Yes.
From bread to sugar to transport to whatever product. So you can see transport or cost of fuel has a big impact on the rest of the economy.
Yes.
So what electric mobility is doing is that it is reducing the cost of transport. And in some cases, we are seeing operation costs going down by up to 80%.
Okay.
So it means generally that it will be more efficient for our economy to run. We will need less oil, and whatever energy we use that is electricity, it will cost us less. So starting from a consumer perspective, ultimately, in the long run, we know even as long as you're buying anything, you will feel an impact of that change.
Okay.
Directly, of course, now there will be those who will benefit directly. Those will be, distributing electric vehicles, fixing electric vehicles, and the related services. We are seeing industries will come up because there are less barriers to assembling and manufacturing electric vehicles compared to engine vehicles. So there are beginners in that side as well. People will be able to get into the energy space because right now getting into the oil industry is very regulated and controlled. There's only one product coming from a few specific places. But with the electricity, you have 10, 20 different sources. So it's like a liberalization of energy.
Yes.
Which means instead of having few big players like we have right now in the oil industry, we shall have many more smaller players. People who are able to generate their own electricity, do their own mini grids. So there'll be opportunities on the energy side, on the charging side as well. So those are some of the benefits that we would expect. Manufacturing will also grow because I said the barriers to entry in terms of engineering and some of building. Take it like this. Kenya is already manufacturing phones. But we are not manufacturing vehicles. We are assembling. So just consider an electric vehicle like a very big phone. So the same way a phone has a battery, the electric vehicle has a battery. It has a software, the phone has a software, the electric vehicle has a... Just that the phone has the vehicle has a much bigger battery, and it has a place for people to sit in, and some tires and some things like that. So, but when you look at the expertise needed to build an engine, for example, and build a battery or a motor, the motor is much easier than building an engine from scratch. The battery is much easier.
Yeah.
So we expect a fragmentation of the manufacturing, that we shall have many more small players getting into the manufacturing of electric vehicles compared to what we are seeing with the current engine vehicles.
Wow.
Yes.
I really like that you've actually broken it down that way, because maybe I never even looked at it from a point of manufacturing where if we then now have that homegrown, then it means then we're expanding into spaces that we already are aware of. It's not rocket science.
Yes.
If we're already manufacturing phones,
Yes.
then we can actually pour out the same expertise into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about disruption. Petrol stations,
Yes.
ICE vehicles, spare part dealers, the entire value chain may become obsolete.
Yes.
And note that I say may. It will eventually, but I want us to also just bring it out a bit more easy on the people in this space right now, so that they actually see that they're not being phased out all of a sudden, but how many livelihoods are also going to be affected by this, them being phased out, even if it is gradually.
Yes.
The spare part dealers, ICE vehicle mechanics, and the petrol stations. Let's talk about those three.
Let me start with the petrol stations because they are probably the most exposed. Already right now, petrol station volumes have gone down dramatically. I was reading a report from the Petrol Station Owners Association of Kenya, and I think the average volume per station has gone down from an average, I think, of 250,000 liters, I think that is a month, to about half of that, 125,000. Because there is many more petrol stations compared to the number. So much as the vehicles are increasing, the petrol stations are increasing at a faster rate. So the cake is being divided by many more players. Secondly, we are seeing from a global perspective that EV sales are rising and ICE or internal combustion engine sales are dipping.
Okay.
And it is expected in the next 5 to 10 years, we shall have an intersection that we shall reach a place where on a new vehicle sales, that EVs will be outselling ICE vehicles.
Okay.
So it means as we go into the future, then the demand for oil will start going down.
Yes.
Already some countries, some of the largest consumers of oil are predicting to reach a peak demand of oil in the next 1 to 5 years, which means then from then on, demand will start going down from year 6, for example, up to when it will reach maybe whatever, almost zero.
Okay.
So what does that mean? Then the petrol stations, for example, don't have, too much time to take advantage of the current demand. Probably the only saving grace for them is that it won't happen immediately.
Yes.
Because, for example, globally we have over 2 billion vehicles on the road. Not all those 2 billion will go out of operation immediately. So it will be a steady decline. But steady is the key word.
But it will happen.
It will happen, so it will be a steady decline. Whether those vehicles will take another 20 years on the road or 30 years before they are totally scrapped, then the demand will continue going down. So it means a petrol station owner has probably 20 years of useful or economic, life if they're in a prime area. But if already they're in a place where they are having low volume, then they probably need to look at their business model.
Okay.
So those are among the people who will be seriously affected. If you go to the spare part dealers, then those ones will also feel the heat. Because number one, an electric vehicle has fewer parts than an engine vehicle. The engine vehicle probably has, a passenger vehicle probably has about 3,000 parts. The electric vehicle is less than 1,000. The moving parts are actually less than, 200. So it means you have fewer,
Parts
to replace.
Yes.
Washers, brakes, springs, bushes, those kind of things. The efficiency of electric vehicle also means it needs less parts. For example, from what we've seen, like Basigo, they operated buses for a whole 2 years before they replaced the brake pads.
Wow.
A normal Matatu probably need to do that every month, every quarter.
Yes.
So what does that mean? If you are a spare parts dealer in River Road or Grogan or wherever, if you are bringing a container of brake pad every month, very soon, in a number of years, it will be maybe a container every quarter. And then a container every half year. So by the time your son is taking over the business, it's a container once a year. That's where we are headed.
And you see, this is the interesting thing about trends and technology and even being futuristic.
Yes.
We find that that's the reason many businesses struggle, because they don't project. Apart from that, they're also not really trying to gather information that will affect their sector. And I think also this is a conversation that's very important, especially for boards. People who sit on boards of organizations.
Yes, it's a strategic discussion.
Yes, I believe there's an aspect of that board that needs to guide the company on what is coming up, what is happening, what the changes are.
Yes.
And I like that that's why you come in to bring in this training. So this training is not just necessarily for the people who are driving these vehicles. This is a very important training even for the corporates.
Yes.
Because let's look at corporates that have fleets of vehicles. Let's just talk a little bit about that. I know I've moved out of context, but now that you've talked about, importing of parts, let's just also touch a little bit on why it's important for corporates to be a part of this conversation and really understand how this is going to impact them.
I think you are within the context perfectly. Yeah, I don't think you've moved out at all.
Okay.
The strategic aspect is actually one of the most important that we do. Many people know us for the technical training and the driver trainings, where we've trained over 500 people so far in the last few months. But we are looking, for example, at strategic level.
Yes.
Like you said, for a bank. Okay, let me not mention any bank.
Yes.
They are one of their biggest income streams is asset finance. And one of the biggest assets apart from real estate is vehicles.
Yes.
So if I was a bank director, I would be asking myself, if right now I have an asset finance book worth maybe 10 billion, and it's mainly fossil fuel vehicles, in 10 or 20 years, that book will be electric.
Yes.
And I normally hold that as security. If the client, maybe Brandis, does not pay, we can repossess the car, sell it.
Yes.
What is the resale value for an electric vehicle? Where do I take it? How do I even evaluate how to finance it based on the technology in that vehicle, which could change in the next month or year? Because we have different battery chemistries coming, we have different, specifications. Electric vehicles are improving year on year.
Yeah.
So you could be having an asset which you think is worth this much, and then it has a different value How does that affect your business? So there are so many things that from a strategic level, if you are an oil marketer or distributor, for example, how will you get into this space?
Yes.
Because previously you had sole supply.
Yes.
As long as you have the tender to get oil from Middle East, you know, Kamau and Njoroge cannot go to Middle East and bring oil. But right now, Kamau and Otieno can go to China
Yes,
and
and
start
bring the-
assembling
Yeah.
vehicles.
Yes.
You understand? So there's lots of disruption coming in that some businesses will be negatively affected, others will be positively affected. Secondly, from a national point of view, there's also an energy race happening
Okay.
because countries are trying to get into electric mobility, not because they love electric vehicles or they want to make people in electric mobility, richer or whatever. Is because the less they buy oil, the more money they have for investment in the economies.
Yes.
The less they need foreign exchange because that oil is bought in dollars. So you have to take all of your 130 shillings right now in Kenya to get $1 to go buy that oil. If you are in Rwanda or Uganda, you take many more of your shillings and francs.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But for energy, for electricity, you pay the local guy in your local
Your
currency.
Yes.
So that foreign exchange is a big saving for the economy. Secondly, that not having to import is because for most countries, oil is their biggest import budget
Yes.
cost item. So if you reduce even by half or quarter the amount of oil you're importing, your economy becomes stronger by that factor. There have been studies which have been done, you know, incentives versus whatever. And in every case where you incentivize electric mobility, you get 3 to 5 times the benefit in the economy. So if let's say you give incentives so that people can be able to get electric vehicles with less duties and taxes,
Yeah.
people can set up plans with less VAT or no VAT and corporate tax. The benefit on the economy in terms of reduced foreign exchange and the income you're able to get from electricity generation. Because remember, even electricity has taxes and levies.
Yes.
It is able to surpass the income or the taxes that you lost that you normally get from petrol and diesel.
Yes.
So this is a national, matter of national importance. And I think the third one is the energy security bit. If you are relying on electricity or energy locally available or produced, it does not matter if your neighbors in the Middle East or which other part of the country start fighting or whatever scuffles are happening, your supply chain is localized.
Yes.
But right now, if, for example, you are a landlocked country like Uganda or Rwanda, there are like 100 things which could affect your energy security. Starting from what's happening in Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Iraq, Iran. What's happening in the shipping lanes where the oil is coming through. If there's a strike in Port of Mombasa or Port of Dar,
You're done.
it affects the oil you're expecting. If there's an issue on the highway, Northern Corridor to Uganda or this other highway, Dar to Kigali. Again,
If there's noise in a country because of...
if there is like the unrest which was
Yes.
in our Jirani,
Yes.
it affected what
That-
oil got to Kigali that period.
Wow.
The time we had our own challenges, Uganda was seriously affected. Electric mobility provides that kind of security that you are self-dependent. You are largely self-dependent.
Yes.
Because the supply, production, and distribution is
Yeah.
local.
Yeah.
So there are so many benefits
Wow.
to electric mobility.
And that's why I say this conversation is going to be a great conversation because it is not just about the people who want to get into this space to understand it. It touches on corporates, it touches on development partners, it touches on
Yes.
governments, it touches on the national, the country as a whole. Yeah. And actually, this is just a build-up because there's going to be an open day.
Yes.
On the 5th of December, there's going to be an open day at the Kenya School of Government. And we invite you to come in and just engage with now the experts to really demystify some of these conversations, ask as many questions as you need to, because then it allows you to be in a space where you're aware of what is happening within this space, but how it affects you, not just as an individual, an organization, and the country at large. So now, let's talk about mechanics.
Yes.
Because these people have spent decades mastering ICE engines. So this is what they know how to work on. Now, they're actually going to get to a place where they might become irrelevant. And that's where you come in. This training and this upskilling, talk to us a little bit about the people who have gone into the space of mechanics,
Okay.
engineering, and now there's a shift. How does that affect them?
So one of the big differences with electric vehicles is they have, like we said, they have less components. They have less wear and tear. So it means they have less mechanical work
Yes.
to be done. Secondly, the work is shifting to more electrical. So if you go to a typical garage, you have more mechanics, less electricians. So
Yes.
the electric work is more technical, so more mechanics avoid it because it's a bit of, strain your...
I think it's very you really have to.
You really have to be focused and
Yes. Yes.
quite intelligent to do that. This other one, you just need some strength and to know where to hit
Yes.
and what to pull and those kind of things.
And we have more of those.
And we have more of those.
Than the ones who
so
now-
that's why the traditional mechanic is normally a strongly built man. That industry is
Your
male
Odis,
dominated.
your
Yes.
Omosh,
You are
Okay.
knocking things and pulling out things and
Yes.
changing things, lifting engines, lift springs,
Yeah.
and those kind of things. If you go to the electric mobility companies right now, you go to their workshops, some of them have girls smaller than you working on those buses.
Yes, I've seen
Because-
female ninis in that space.
More than half of the work is just diagnostic, connecting a scan tool to get the error codes, resetting those error codes, updating softwares, basically, balancing out the battery.
Yeah.
There's equipment to support you with everything. A good example is one of the ladies we trained, I think 2 years ago. She's called Jacqueline Kemani. Small lady, we were with her at the e-mobility conference, Kenya Power, early this year, I think in May.
I think I
And-
must have seen it on your socials.
Yes,
Was she?
yes.
Uh-huh.
So that girl does not fit the profile of a typical mechanic. But now she's at Basigo working on buses.
Wow.
And she says, now you have pneumatic tools, you have powered tools. So even that work which you need an omosh is reduced because you have the tools to support you. So for the mechanic right now, he needs to, basically in that world we keep talking about, unlearn, learning, unlearning and relearning.
Relearning,
So he
yes.
needs to start unlearning about the engine vehicles, learn about electric vehicles, and relearn, because even us in this space, we have to keep relearning because the technology is moving so fast. We think this is the defined parameter. A few months later, we find it's been moved. Either the performance has changed, the energy density has changed, the charging speed has changed, the pricing has changed. So it's like you always have to be looking around what's happening.
Yes.
You're lazima ukae rada. The
Kae
Kenyans will
rada, kae
understand.
rada.
Yes. Otherwise, something will happen and you'll miss it.
Yes.
So the mechanic, of course, needs to do number one, a lot of self-learning. Because if you wait for the structured learning opportunity, they are few and far between. For example, most of our programs are 2 to 4 days, and we don't do them on a continuous basis.
Okay.
Even if you go to a program at NITA or whoever organizes a program, they will run it for 5 days. Immediately you leave that class, before that year ends, probably 10% of what you've learned has become irrelevant,
Yes.
has been replaced by something else. You are not aware. No one
So
will call
this is
you to a
constant.
class to tell you about the latest tools in River Road or in China about electric mobility, to tell you about the latest equipment in the terrestrial area or in Norway, for example. So those are some of the things that you need to keep, learning for yourself. What you might find easy is maybe just to learn the fundamentals. How do
Okay.
electric vehicles work? What do I need to know to fix different types of electric vehicles? Because different vehicles come with different requirements. Most of them, the manufacturer has to give you the access so that you can do that scanning that, like I told you. If you don't have that access, the vehicle will be there, you and with all your spanners, you won't be able to do any meaningful work.
Yes.
Apart from change tires and brakes.
Yeah.
You won't be able to work on the battery, which is the most expensive, most complicated part of the vehicle. So if you can't touch the battery,
Then really.
what are you doing?
Yes.
So you need to figure out how to learn, especially how battery chemistries work, how the BMS, which is the battery management system works, how it connects to the rest of the components, what are some of the common failure points that you need to be alert to when they happen.
Okay. So when we're talking about upskilling
Yes.
or relearning, it's important that this transition is just, so that we don't feel like we are like pointing the finger and telling them, listen, we warned you. Yeah?
Yes.
So just principles would dictate that, or would demand that we don't abandon these people. So just talk to us a little bit about that transition. What does it look like in Kenyan context? So if we're retraining, you have retraining programs, you have safety nets, you have alternative ways of now slowly bringing them to this new space. I know that is something you're doing when it comes to training. Are you able to get these mechanics at their places, like the downtown, the Grogan and all? Because I think this is also a very important forum for us to let them know that there is an opportunity for them to start getting trained and upskilled. So without us really losing these communities and treating them as your affected community, how does then advanced mobility come in to help this, so to speak, affected communities get onto this wagon? Yeah, so they're not left out.
Okay, so there's positive and negative. So the positive is that the skills are already there to do the training. The resources are mostly there. The only challenge that we have is the cost of running the training.
Okay.
Right now, we have a long list of people who are waiting for us to run our next training program. But most of them, their challenge is how much are they able to pay. Even if it's 10K a day for a 4-day program, that's 40,000 before you add the taxman VAT. So is a regular mechanic in Nairobi able to afford that? Probably they don't make that in a month. So we are trying to see, for example, how to digitize some of our learnings, how to break it into smaller modules, so that you only learn what you need to at that point to start growing or to take off.
Yes.
Then you could be upgrading later once you've gotten some experience. The thing which I think we have an advantage as Kenyans is that Kenyans are very proactive. Having traveled around Eastern Africa, we have a very good knowledge base compared to the other countries. For example, even the data shows that Kenyans have the highest usage of mobile money, of WhatsApp, of TikTok. We are online more hours in a day than anyone else in the world, I think, or in Africa. So it means from an information side, we are not too badly. We are probably some of the, better off in terms of getting access to the information. So the gap now remains how to do the practical training.
Yes.
So we are now, of course, partnering with people like Jacob's Ladder Africa to see how to take these programs to, TVETs and other institutions, so that we're able to reach more people. We've gotten some support from people like JZ, and we are trying to see how we can roll out, even two-wheeler training, which is simpler than four-wheeler, around the country, that you can be able to go to garages, yards, where the mechanics are, and spend a day or two doing some training right there on the ground.
Okay.
That reduces our cost for them and makes it more affordable. If we can be able to get more partners, then it will make us more effective in the same.
Yes.
So I think it's not a lost cause. We are probably some of the more advantaged countries as far as that is concerned.
Yeah.
When you look at most of the programs happening in East Africa, it's Kenyans doing training in those markets, supporting in one or another. So,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, so that's really important. I like that you actually give the option of hybrid because, our eyes are always on the phone.
Yes.
If you can use that as one of the ways to first just get information that actually shows them there's a need for this, there's an opportunity for you within that space, that I think is very important. Let's go to energy companies.
Yes.
We're looking at Total, we're looking at Vivo, we're looking at Rubies. They've invested billions in fuel infrastructure.
Okay.
So what's their strategic response Is it to fight EVs, to pivot and start putting charging stations within those petrol stations, or is it to diversify? Still keep the fuel part and now invest also in electric mobility, or is it to now? I mean, sometimes big boys have a way of using their elbows to push people around, which I don't think is a good way to do this because EV is already here. Yes. What do you suggest the big fuel companies should do just so that they're actually part of this and not feeling like you're intruding into a space where they've invested a lot?
Okay. Wow. Now you're moving into consultancy space because now this solution needs to be charged on an hourly rate.
Say it minimal so that now they find you at the open day.
But I can give an overview. I mean, some of it is public information. The how is where the difference comes in. I think if you're an oil marketer, it's going to be difficult.
Okay.
Very difficult. In fact, if I can use the Swahili term, hii imeenda.
Yes.
Wow. Might not be immediate, but look at the landscape. You had a product, you had sole access, or
Yes.
You had a big advantage in that. Now, this other space, you're not the sole distributor or provider of electricity. There's Kenya Power, there's microgrids, there's all those kind of options. Number two, they could move into charging and maybe offer charging services. But then again, you are competing with... I also have my own socket at home. So if I have an electric vehicle, I can charge it overnight at home. So I'll only need destination, en route charging when I'm traveling far or if I didn't charge it at night or at work. In fact, the data we have shows that over 90% of charging happens either at work or at home.
Oh, okay.
So theoretically, if we were to move all electric, 90% of the market for fuel has gone. Because those vehicles, even if you offer charging services, 90% of them will never come to your place.
Yes. Wow, so this is really a balance. Like you really need to make a decision based on data
and the 10%
behavior.
who remain can go to any other public charging point. No, you are not exclusive.
Yes.
Let me tell you who you're competing with. If you need to charge a vehicle for an hour, how many petrol stations can park 10 vehicles for an hour?
Not.
So you're competing with Sarit Center, who has, for example, maybe 1,000 parking slots. If they convert 200 of them into charging spots or even 100, can you compete with that?
You can't, and actually people are charging as they're shopping or eating or...
So, your local church, if it has parking slots for 300 vehicles and they set 50 or 20 or 10 to be chargers, that's who you are up against.
Wow.
You're competing with my charger at home. So are you seeing how that market is going to be split into very small pieces? The only saving grace I can say is that the transition is going to take a while. Because for our 2 to 3 million vehicles on the road, even if we start buying 100% electric in Kenya right now, it will take a decade or two before those vehicles finally run out, maybe even 3 decades. So you have a bit of time. But for me, I find it quite challenging. They will not retain their current dominant position.
Okay.
So it means beyond getting into charging, they need to get into another line of business altogether to sustain their revenues.
Okay.
Entirely, whether they'll get into real estate or whatever, because the charging market portion that is available to them is very small.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know within this space, there are already players who have invested in this, not just in terms of the equipment, but also just the information, the data, the research, the partners. Now, that is fuel stations. Let's touch on banks, financing institutions. These ones have decades of experience with the ICE vehicles. They even give loans for the ICE vehicles. What mindset shift do the banks need to embrace when it comes to EV financing? And what new risks are they facing? Like, what are they staring at?
Okay.
But again, what do they need to do? Because they've heavily focused, and you talked about their asset financing arm. What do they need to do to start now focusing on electric vehicles
Yes.
as another opportunity for them? And if they don't, what is the risk that they're up against?
Wow. I think when it comes to the banks, the oil marketers, we have a program we are running with the Africa E-Mobility Alliance, which is a strategic program on electric mobility.
Okay.
This is for business leaders. So that one will be able to give them the step-by-step how to navigate this industry. But let me just give you a quick example.
Okay.
I told you most banks have a big asset book of vehicles they've financed. With electric mobility, we foresee a future where vehicle ownership will actually reduce, not increase.
Vehicle ownership.
Yes, the number of vehicles will reduce.
Okay.
Reason being, the electric vehicles are coming with other technologies. They are coming with Internet of Things. They are coming with the self-driving technology.
Yes.
So it means very soon, Elon Musk keeps talking about robotaxis. They're already being
We're
piloted
seeing them.
in some states in China and in the US. You don't need a taxi driver. You just hail an app. The person comes, the vehicle comes, you board, and then you leave the vehicle to go. What problem is that solving? The problem it's solving is that vehicles on average are parked over 95% of the time.
Yes.
Only 5% of the time that they're actually moving, carrying people. That's why we have so many parking spaces all over town. Brannis comes to the office, gets into the office building, parks a car from 8 o'clock up to 5 or 6. But with electric vehicles and these other technologies, you don't need vehicle ownership as much because you can be using Bolt or Uber.
Yeah.
You can even automate that to eventually reach a place where you'll automate. So it means we'll have less vehicles. Then you have a less market to finance. Are you seeing what's going to happen to that market?
Yeah.
That you'll have less vehicles available for you to finance.
Yes.
Secondly, the people selling the vehicles, they could actually finance, the people offering these robotaxis, they could say they don't need to go to, because now you are dealing with a numbers game. Instead of dealing with one person charging them, 14, 18, 20%, you are dealing with one book with 1,000 vehicles operating all over the city. It is easy for any other financier, non-bank, like a venture capitalist, to come and finance that whole project.
Yes.
Because now we are moving to mobility as a service. So if the bank has not thought how they will get into mobility as a service, they only finance mobility as ownership, there's a big perspective change.
It's a disconnect.
There's a big disconnect.
Yes.
Another example we've seen, many banks, especially in Kenya, keep announcing their funding lines for electric vehicles. But you start the process.
You're going to hit a...
Go fill in the paperwork. Yeah, I want to finance, a Ridara pickup from Kabisa or a Skyworth from Moja EV. Go take it to the credit officer. Yes.
No, I know. And I know...
It gets stuck in that credit committee.
Yes.
Because they don't have the risk management profile of this product. They ask many questions which cannot be answered, or they don't have information. You'll find most of those applications don't go through.
Yes.
The few that do go because you've provided enough compensation that even if the technology fails, you have enough cash flow to support the loan. So you can see oil industry is going to be seriously affected. The banking and finance is going to be seriously affected. Insurance.
Yes. And I know they speak very passionately in some of these forums when it comes to we
present
want
very
to...
big numbers.
Yes.
We have 1 billion for
yes.
renewable energy, electric mobility, blah, blah, blah.
And Alex, this is the reason why I really was looking forward to this conversation, because there's going to be a lot of uproar,
Yes.
or a lot of trying to justify or come in with a confidence of what it is we're able to do. But I like that you mentioned many of them do not understand this sector well enough for them to know where to position themselves.
Exactly.
They probably want to get into the sector with what it is they're already doing, and that does not
They want this to fit the template they already have.
That is the
instead
thing.
of understanding the template in this other space.
Yes.
So that program with the AFEMA and Advanced Mobility will be showing them, if you are a business leader in any sector,
Yes.
whether you are in media, whether you're in manufacturing, whether you are in finance, electric mobility will touch you in
Yes.
some way. It will affect your business.
Yes.
Know how to start pivoting. Because the way you evaluate risk on this side, you have a very good template. This is a totally new space.
Yes.
So you need to be developing that business model as you go. When you try
True.
and make it fit this other side, it will not fit at all.
Yeah.
One other example, I like to give, for example, the insurance industry. When they value a vehicle, they look at the condition and the assessor does his thing. For an electric vehicle, about half of the value in the vehicle is the battery. So does this assessor have the right expertise to measure the state of health of this battery?
No.
Even most mechanics
Most
don't
likely.
have,
Yes.
leave alone the assessor. Most mechanics cannot do that. So what is he assessing when he's saying this vehicle is worth, 2 million or 5 million?
Yes.
So when it's new, maybe he'll use the invoice from the seller.
Yes.
But what about 3-5 years later? He has to depreciate it to a certain extent and give a justification.
True.
So if you are in insurance and you're not able to do that, then the amount of guesswork that you are doing could come back to bite you in a very big way.
My goodness.
Yes.
Yeah. There's really so much. And I like that you're going to be at this open day, because people really need to come to your booth and just really ask all these questions. Yeah. And that's why we have this open day. Now, I want us to come to our final question before we close. Chinese manufacturers are dominating the EV market. But I know also when it comes to the two-wheelers, we also have the India, who's very vested in this space. What does this mean for technology dependency? And also when it comes to people who are going local? We hear that there's a lot of manufacturing that's happening locally. Yes. Are they able really to play in a space where they're not feeling like the Chinese or India is always taking center stage? Or can they just build what they're doing currently, obviously because they're connecting with experts and they're doing a lot of R&D?
Okay.
What is it that you would tell maybe the manufacturers in Kenya within this space? Because there's likely to be, Kenyans have this thing of vitu za nje, ni bora kushinda, things that are locally assembled. What is your take on that?
I like that you raised the China factor. We like to call it the China factor. You cannot run away from it. If you're in mobility, just make peace that you have to deal with the Chinese largely.
Okay.
Yes, because they control most of the supply chain for electric vehicles, right from the mining to the refining of materials to production of the vehicles and of batteries. They are the leading in that space.
Okay.
So just make peace with that. That is not going to change.
Don't try and...
They have a very strong competitive advantage.
Okay.
They have a 20-year game plan that they are this is their 20th year of implementing electric mobility as a national strategy and as a global strategy. So
we're
they have
still
a
at
head
that
start that most other countries I don't see who will ever catch up with the Chinese. They just start from
so we're
there.
still at the stage of winning. We're not trying to crawl before we can. We just need to move progressively.
Let's see how we can align to get the best from them.
Okay.
Because one of the challenges is they have over 100 manufacturers of electric vehicles because electric vehicles are becoming commoditized. So you have good and bad coming in the market. You have people who cannot support products. So one of the things as a manufacturer, especially if you're looking at partners, you need to look at their track record, especially in after-sales support.
Yeah.
Because like I said, building an electric vehicle is not that difficult comparing to an engine vehicle. Right now, most of them are getting their batteries from a big company called CATL. It's the global supplier of electric vehicle batteries. Even the Indians are getting from China.
Oh.
So you can see the China factor. We keep telling people, we need to learn some Chinese.
Yes.
A bit of ni hao, xie, and whatever. Let's start from that. The second thing is, how do we have a win-win relationship?
Yeah.
So that we have products that can work in our country and that can be supported. Because we are seeing manufacturers who today they are selling an electric vehicle or dealers. Tomorrow they are selling TVs from China. 2 years from now they are selling furniture.
Yeah.
So by year 4, if your vehicle needs support, or year 3, then you go back to the guy.
Yeah.
He is no
He
longer
doesn't have-
selling that model.
Exactly.
He moved on.
Yeah.
There's no after-sale support. So that's one of the challenges. Secondly, what are the technical specifications that we require in our market? For example, right now there's no standardized access, a way of building electric vehicles to access the computer data. So certain manufacturers are giving the consumer access to certain computer data or the BMS data, others are not.
Okay.
So we could end up with vehicles which we are not able to scan, for example, unless you go to a specific person. That's one of the challenges we are seeing.
Okay.
Even from a safety perspective, how they are built, some of them don't have some of the safety features that would want to see. For example, the ways of disconnecting the high voltage system in case of an accident, in case you are doing technical work on the vehicle.
Yeah.
So we need to check, have our own standard when you're dealing with the Chinese. The fortunate thing is that I think even the Chinese government has picked on this because the latest update that I've seen this week, I told you this thing is changing on a
On a week,
on a week or day-to-day basis. China is restricting export of vehicles if you can't show capacity to support vehicles in the country you are exporting to, because they've seen that now it's going to affect their brand and product if anyone is going to traders, let's say traders are getting to the space where manufacturers and distributors should be in. So I think it's good that they are picking that, because the other challenge is, even if we come up with our own standard and we are buying 1,000 vehicles as an economy, that is like nothing to
You really don't have that much.
Yes, you don't have much
of voice.
A market which is buying 50,000,
Yeah, can at
100,000
least,
vehicles, the Chinese can bend to your
Accommodate and-
requirements,
Yeah.
accommodate, But unfortunately, Africa, which has less than 3% of global vehicle sales, we don't have much.
We just let's just keep humble as we
Yeah,
continue
so
to.
we need to have a balance
Yeah.
between setting our standards and finding out what are the markets are allowing. So
Yeah.
so here is where maybe government collaboration comes in.
Yeah.
That we could borrow standards of some of the bigger markets, like Australia or Asia, for example. Then that will help us.
Yeah.
Just so that we have quality products coming through, because we've seen some vehicles with very poor design, not even supposed to be on a highway. Others with some, repurposed batteries being sold as new. Others with inaccessible batteries, like I'm telling you in terms of the onboard computer, OBD. And basically traders of all, anything which is growing attracts all kinds of people.
True.
So we have also shifty people coming into the electric mobility space. So we need to make sure that, we protect ourselves as a country.
Yeah.
And I think KEBS has started the process.
Okay.
At least they came up with a requirement last year that even for used vehicles, you cannot import an electric vehicle with less than 80% state of health.
Yeah.
Now the question is, who certifies this state of health?
It has
Because
to be
like I tell you, the port officer in Mombasa does not know how to do that. Even a very good mechanic without the right tools might not be able to confirm the state of health of a battery. So do you have a certifying body from the port of origin? Do you have a report? Can it be certified? Can you confirm by yourself with your own measurement? So those are some of the technical gaps that we need to see how to close. But in summary, I'll just say make peace with the Chinese.
Okay.
Yes, they are the ones who are running this show.
All right.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Alex. Conversations with you are always very enlightening. But I know we look like we really hit hard when it comes to some of these players. It's really important that this feedback gets to them so that they don't see this as something that is coming to disrupt them immediately. It's going to be over a period of time, but they really need to start positioning themselves so they don't get hit by it. Thank you so much for having this conversation with us.
Yes.
So nice to have you in studio. We're looking forward to having you come to the open day because these are the kind of questions that you need to ask. A lot of these questions and the narratives that have been passed by people with regards to this sector are going to be demystified at the open day. So we look forward to seeing you, and thank you so much. Thank you, Alex. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Branis, for having me, and looking forward to the next discussion.
Karibu sana.